currently out for dessert, and also planning on filming a Q&A for you guys. A lot of you sent in some questions on Instagram, so I'm about to order some dessert and answer your questions. The plan was to film the Q&A in the coffee shop, but it was so busy I didn't get a chance, and you guys wouldn't be able to hear me answer the questions. So I'm back at the office. I've got my cup of green tea, and I'm going to answer your questions. I ate so much cheesecake, it's unbelievable. And baklava. Cheesecake and baklava. If anybody hasn't tried the Dubai pistachio kanafa cheesecake, you need to try it. It's 10 out of 10. And baklava's baklava. It's always nice. First question. There was quite a lot of questions, so if I don't get to go through all of your questions in this video, I will do another Q&A at some point. First question, starting off with some of the more casual stuff, because there is some pretty deep questions in here as well, but I want to set the scene. I don't want to jump straight into some of the more deeper questions, but somebody asked, what are my 5 favorite rappers of all time? Good question. I think number 1 has to be Tupac. Why am I choosing Tupac? Because back in high school, when I used to have the old Sony Walkman mobile phones, or mobile phone even, I remember just playing Tupac, hit 'em up, staring at the world from my rear view, on the old Sony Walkman phones, walking through town. So it does bring back some good memories from back in high school. So number 1, Tupac. Number 2, Biggie Smalls. Same thing. I used to rock a lot of Biggie Smalls on my old Sony Walkman phone. Number 3, DMX. I think DMX is underrated. And when I first started the gym, a lot of the gyms that I used to train at used to play DMX. So I grew fond of listening to DMX just for that extra motivation. Number 4, I'd say Pop Smoke. And number 5, Drake. If I was to sneak in a 6th rapper, I'd have to say 50 Cent. I'm struggling at number 5 between Drake and 50 Cent. They are a different kind of vibe when you listen to the music. I do like listening to Drake for motivation when I'm doing deep work, especially late at night. It just puts you in a different kind of zone. But I don't condone listening to music, so yeah, we don't listen to music. Number 2, should I put a hold on my career to get married? Wow, that is a very deep question. Firstly, I'm humbled that you guys trust me to answer such deep questions. Okay, let's break it down. Should I put a hold on my career to get married? You shouldn't look at it as putting a hold on something when you get married. At least in my opinion, I feel like when you find a person, you should want to build your career with them. And also, I feel like when you are looking for a person to get married to, your goals and your aspirations need to be aligned to some extent. Because let's say, for example, you've got a guy who's very driven, very motivational, wants to start a business for himself, and he's always traveling. And then you've got a girl who doesn't like traveling, is more reserved, and just wants a comfortable life, but isn't really about the fast-paced business life. If those two people come together, then they're going to clash. So I always suggest, I'm not a relationships advisor by any means, but I always suggest that people, when they are looking for another partner or compatible partners, they should find somebody whose goals are aligned. And yeah, don't look at it as meeting someone is going to put a hold on your career. If somebody is doing that, then they're not the right person for you, in my opinion. The right person should elevate you. They should push you to achieve your goals, and they should motivate you, and they should also support you. They shouldn't hold you back. So I think that answers your question. Okay. How does somebody with seasonal depression manage being productive? Okay, how does something, okay, I'm assuming they mean someone. How does someone with seasonal depression manage being productive? Okay, this is a good question. And something that you guys won't know about me is there was a point in my life where I used to suffer from seasonal depression, where it'd get to the winter months and I just wasn't nowhere near as productive as the summer months. And my business and my career in general took a massive impact because there was a point where I didn't even want to leave the house and I didn't want to do any work. How did I combat it? During the summer months, or just, it might not even be the summer or winter, but during the months where you're hit with that seasonal depression, I'd say try and get out of the rut. Now, what do I mean by try get out of the rut? It's utilize those months to maybe focus on yourself more than your actual career or your business or whatever it is you want to do. Focus on yourself, take some time out, and then during the months where you are feeling productive, then that's when I'd put most of your graft, most of your deep work into. So almost consider the months where you're suffering from the seasonal depression as time off, and then the months where you're feeling productive, that's where you put in the most work. And a lot of people tend to work like that. Even the most successful people, they spend 6 to 8 months out the year grafting away, and then they take like 4 months off. So if you look at it in that way, then it's just a different way of looking at it, I guess. And it's a tough question to answer because, look, I don't know exactly how depressed you're feeling to the person that asked the question, but at least for me, that did help. And if you are able to do so, I'd suggest traveling. So one big thing for me is when I get those months where I'm not feeling as productive and I need a change of environment, I'm lucky enough, alhamdulillah, to be able to travel to different countries and just change my environment, because the worst thing you can do is stay in the office, for example, or stay in your room, and it just ends up being a downward spiral. It just ends up being a downward spiral. So I hope that answered your question. And as always, if you do need to talk to somebody, then drop me a DM on Instagram. I always try and answer my DMs. In case you're wondering what kind of tea this is, it's pure green tea. I've started drinking this because it's full of antioxidants, and I've just noticed a difference in, this is random, I'm going off on a random tangent, but it helps with bloating and it just helps me relax a little bit. When I say green tea, I mean like green tea, not cannabis. So okay. Number 4. Can we go for coffee? Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to kindly decline. So yeah, sorry about that. Number 5. As a man, what can you do to cope mentally while trying to build your life? Setbacks. Good question. So it doesn't have to be specific to a man. This answer can apply to both men and women, but I'll make it more specifically to men, seeing as it's a man that asked the question. You need to understand that when you're trying to build something, or when you're on a path or a journey, you are going to be faced with setbacks. If you look at social media, the people that you see, the more successful people that you see, where everything just looks so perfect, you're only seeing the end result. You're not seeing, it sounds so cliche, you're not seeing the actual journey where there's the failures, there's the lessons learned, there's the losses. And it's the same for me as well. Like, I suffer from a lot of losses, a lot of failures. I get taught a lot of lessons, sometimes the hard way. I've lost money. And you just need to acknowledge and appreciate that it's all part of the journey. And if you get into the mindset of enjoying the process and enjoying the journey, then you won't get so down about the setbacks and they won't hold you back, at least from my experience. So get used to the journey. Acknowledge that failures and L's are part of the journey. It isn't just going to be all smooth sailing. If you are going into it thinking it's going to be smooth sailing, then frankly, you're not cut out for it, because it's just going to hold you back when you are faced with those failures and those hard lessons. So that's my advice on that. Anything else that I can touch upon relating to that? Setbacks. I think that answers your question. Okay, best side hustles. Good question. So, best side hustles, I'll tell you what, rather than answering this video in rather than answering this question in this video, I will answer this in a separate video, and I'll do a dedicated video on it because I was planning on doing one anyway. So to the person that asked about the best side hustles, hang fire. I am going to be doing a full-on video and giving you an insight into the business I do as well. So stay tuned for that video. The next question, how much money is enough money? Can there ever be enough money? But no, jokes aside, in my experience, I think there's different layers to it. So when you get to 10K per month, I think that's probably the best point to be at in terms of your income per month. Now, hear me out. So when you start getting to like 5 to 10K per month, okay, 10K specifically, then you've got the freedom to travel, you've got the freedom to buy your loved ones whatever they want, you've got the freedom to buy yourself whatever you want, and the amount of work it takes to get to 10K a month isn't that stressful. So the reason I say 10K per month is a sweet spot is because it's anything above 10K per month, that's when life starts becoming more and more stressful, and you have to take on a lot more responsibility to be earning 50K or 100K per month, for example. But personally, I think 10K per month is a sweet spot. At least when I hit my first 10K per month, it's like, yeah, okay, this is amazing. But then once you start aiming for higher, from my personal experience, it's a lot more stress. For some random reason, and a lot of people say this as well, like 10K per month is just a sweet spot. So if anybody is aiming for 10K per month or is on 10K per month that's watching this video, you'll probably be able to relate to this. But I think 10K per month is a sweet spot. If you're comfortable at 10K per month and you don't need to go any higher than that, then stay at 10K per month. Trust me, life's good. Life is good at 10K per month. Next question. What's your favorite food? What's my favorite food? Okay. Top 3. I'm going to tell you my top 3. So, steak, smash burgers, and pizza. But if I had to pick one out of the 3, I'd say pizza. I've just always been a pizza guy since... Even if you watch some of our early videos, I think there's one video on the channel where I ate like an 18-inch pizza. Pizza is just one of them foods where I can just demolish. Even if it's 2, 3 in the morning, pizza, yeah, I'm a pizza guy. So I'm going to say pizza is my favorite food. What's it like being in business with family? Good question. So there is a misconception that you shouldn't go into business with family. And I can see why, because if you look on social media, YouTube even, or just, I'm pretty sure people know other people in their circle who have gone into business with a family and have had a bad experience. There's a misconception that you shouldn't do it. Personally, I think it's been the best thing ever, because going into business with my sister has meant my circle is very trustworthy, and yeah, there's ups and downs. Sometimes we argue, but it just feels better knowing that when you're winning, your family members winning as well, and just building something with family is a different feeling. It's nice as well building something with friends, but personally, I wouldn't go into business with friends, because if it doesn't work out, from past experience, one of my first businesses was a meal prep business, and I went into business with a friend. It didn't work out, and our friendship after the business didn't work out was never the same. So I wouldn't advise going into business with friends, but family's different, because for one, you can't choose your family. Even if you argue with family, they're still going to be your family, so you're stuck with them through thick and thin. And mine and my sister's relationships, is very tight. Like we've got a very strong bond. So yeah, I think for me it's been a good experience. There has been some hard times within the business where we haven't seen eye to eye, but for the most part, we're aligned on our goals and where we want to take the business and businesses and our revenue streams. Next question. But before I answer that question, I'm gonna have another sip of green tea. You've got 75k to buy a sports car. 911, DB11, Maserati. Which car are you choosing? If I had 75k to buy a sports car, it'd have to be a 911. I'm a Porsche guy. GT3 RS is bucket list car for me. I've driven the new 911 Turbo S and it's an absolute machine. So for me, it has to be 911 if I had 75k. Next question, fastest way to 11k per month. Okay, no, sorry. Fastest way, I don't know why I read 11k per month. Fastest way to 10k per month. Again, I am going to be doing a video on the best side hustles. And within that video, I am going to be touching upon the fastest way to 10k per month. So do stay tuned for that video. Next question. I have no time for gym or to start a business. Any advice would be appreciated. I'm working 9 till 6 p.m. every single day except for the weekends. Okay, good question. I'm going to be very harsh in answering this last question. When you say when people say I don't have time, it's just an excuse. There's been points in my life where I've been working from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. at night. I've squeezed in the gym and I've managed to set up a business and run a successful business all within the same 24 hours per day. So it just comes down to how bad you want it. And there's going to be some nights where you're going to get 3-4 hours sleep. It's a given. Nobody has perfect circumstances, especially for those that have started from the bottom or have to start from the bottom and you're balancing your day job, for example. So it's a hard journey, but I promise you that if you put in the graft and you stay consistent for 6 to 12 months and you find the time, even if it's only 1 hour or 2 hours per day, those 2 hours are going to slowly add up and it's a snowball effect. So for the person that said I don't have time, it's just an excuse. You need to get out of that mindset and you need to tell yourself that I have time and you need to make the time. Now, I'm not telling you to stay awake all night and not get any sleep, but some nights I get 3-4 hours sleep. Tonight, for example, I'm recording this Q&A, and just to give you guys an example, I've been busy all day with business. Finished my last meeting at 11 p.m. Went to the gym for 1 hour, and it's now 1:06 a.m. and I'm filming this video. So it comes down to how bad you want it. But that was a Q&A. It didn't go to plan because I did want to film it. Well, not in the office. I wanted to film it in the cafe. But yeah, if I didn't answer your questions, then I will answer them the next time I do them. I'm going to stop the video there because I don't want this to be a 1 hour long Q&A. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.